Imagine walking into an extremely elegant restaurant for dinner. You sit at your table and place your order. However, when you look through the kitchen door, you cannot see the familiar chefs searing meat in a pan or chopping vegetables. Instead, there are massive machines, robotic arms, and printers working silently in the kitchen. That juicy steak you ordered, the puree next to it, and even that magnificent dessert placed on top, did not come from a field or a farm. Right now, before your eyes, it is being produced layer by layer inside a machine. It sounds very strange, maybe even a little scary, doesn't it? But what if the increasing population and disappearing agricultural lands force us into this? Could we one day truly be fed not from farms or those endless green fields, but entirely from giant printers? Could 3D printers really be the new way to feed 8 billion people? Today, we take a close look at the great collapse of our kitchens, food culture, and agriculture, and the food revolution of the future. First, let's understand exactly what this technology is. When people think of 3D printers, they usually think of machines that produce hard and molten plastic. And they rightfully wonder if we are going to eat plastic. 3D food printing is not done with plastic. Instead of filament, completely edible, fluid, or puree consistency raw materials are placed inside these printers. According to the command it receives from the computer, the machine gives a shape to the food by squeezing this raw material layer by layer. Today, melted chocolates, pastries, and plant-based protein mixtures can already be printed in laboratories and some luxury restaurants. In other words, today's technology is at the stage of shaping the raw material very precisely rather than creating the food from scratch. There is more than just the excitement of making a cool machine behind this technology. There is humanity's struggle for survival behind it. The world population is increasing at an incredible rate, and we will soon reach 10 billion people. To feed these 10 billion people, we need more agricultural land, more fresh water, and massive farms. However, our agricultural lands are disappearing every day due to climate change and drought. Water resources are drying up. As cities turn into massive concrete jungles, our fields are being pushed outside of the cities. So the issue is not just about bringing technology to our kitchens. The real issue is the life or death seriousness of the question of how we will feed all this crowd in the future. At this point, let's move on to the biggest question on everyone's mind: meat consumption. Can a steak really come out of a machine? Today, there are two different approaches in the scientific world. The first is plant-based printed meat-like products. Soy, chickpea, or pea protein is placed inside the printer, and the machine squeezes it as if it were a meat fiber to create a shape. But the real revolution lies in the second approach: cultured meat. Cultured meat is the reproduction of a single cell taken from animals like cows or chickens in massive laboratories without harming them. The most surprising part is that the purpose of the printers is not just to make those cells taste like meat. The main goal is for the printer to stack those cells millimetrically on top of each other to perfectly mimic the texture of a real steak, the structure of the muscle and fat fibers you feel while chewing. The combination of cultured meat and bioprinting technology is exactly the same as the organ printing technology in the medical world. Millions of muscle and fat cells are produced in the cultured meat laboratory. However, these cells just sit in a pile inside the tube, they don't look like a steak. This is where the 3D printer comes in. It takes those produced cells like bioink and builds the muscle, fat, and connective tissues sequentially according to the steak template on the computer. The point is not just to make meat. The point is to reorganize those living cells correctly to recreate the muscle structure. If meat can be printed, can an apple, a tomato, or a strawberry also be printed? The first thing people think of is copying the fruit in nature exactly. However, printing an apple with its stem, skin, and seeds is biologically incredibly complex. The primary goal of scientists is not to copy nature exactly. It is to take those healthy extracts inside vegetables or fruits, turn them into nutrient mixtures, and produce brand new textures. For the elderly or patients with swallowing difficulties, it is to print a carrot or broccoli, which is normally solid, in brand new forms that are soft and easy to eat but have lost nothing of their nutritional value. Once this technology is established, the shape of the food will become secondary. The real big revolution is personalizing the content of the food. In the near future, your smartwatch will measure what your body needs that day. Let's say you exercised intensely that day and have a protein deficiency. Your smartwatch will connect to the printer, and the printer will print a personalized dinner for you with exactly enough protein, vitamins, and the right calorie balance. One day, there could be a special food prescription for you, just like a doctor's prescription. And the person cooking that meal will not be a chef, but an AI-powered algorithm. Has the end of agriculture come? This is a very ambitious and scary question. The answer is no. Farming or agriculture will not disappear completely. Because the protein, those plant fluids, and the cells we will put inside that 3D printer still need to come from the soil and nature. Basic raw materials will still be produced from nature. But the mode of production will change completely. Humanity's nutrition will move not to vast lands in the countryside, but to massive buildings in the heart of cities. With systems called vertical farming, herbs, vegetables, and plants will be grown in much larger proportions with much less water, only with purple lights, in indoor factories that do not see sunlight. Traditional farming will leave its place entirely to high-tech production. Agriculture will survive by changing its shape somehow, but the bells are tolling for classical animal husbandry. Industrial livestock farming is one of the biggest culprits of global warming and environmental disasters. To produce 1 kilogram of beef, thousands of liters of clean water, tons of feed obtained from massive agricultural areas, and a process that lasts for years are required. Moreover, the methane gas emitted by cows brings the greenhouse effect to catastrophic dimensions. Cultured meat coming out of the printer reduces this massive water and land consumption by 90%. So the issue is not just the taste or shape of the meat. The real issue is at what cost and with how much damage to the planet we produce that meat for billions of people. The biggest wall in front of this technology is not engineering, but human psychology. For humanity, food does not just mean filling the stomach. Food is a culture, an identity, a deep-seated habit coming from our first ancestors who gathered around the fire. Let's put aside the debate of whether what is natural is always good or not. It will be very difficult for people to trust food coming from a machine or a laboratory tube. How can the smell of meat, its sizzle on the grill, or the texture of the food your mother made compete with a laboratory output? Psychologically breaking the perception of naturalness and convincing people of a meal disconnected from the field will perhaps be much more difficult than inventing the printer. Let's assume we have overcome the psychology somehow. Is the technology really ready for this? For now, no. The biggest problem with printed foods is that they still haven't captured the perfect taste and texture. The difference between chewing the fibrous structure of a real steak and chewing a printed dough can still be understood. But there is an even bigger problem: scaling and cost. Printing a portion of meat with a printer costing hundreds of thousands of dollars under the supervision of scientists in a laboratory is one thing. Putting this in supermarkets and producing it cheaply and quickly every day for 8 billion people is something completely different. Energy consumption and mass production are the highest walls that food engineers are currently trying to overcome. When all these problems are overcome, let's imagine what the kitchens in our homes and on the streets will be like. In the future, home-type food printers will take the place of microwave ovens or coffee machines. You will buy the recipe code for that evening's meal from a famous chef on the internet, and the machine in your home will print that meal for you with the same texture and taste. In hospitals, healing meals adorned with vitamins suitable for each patient's disease will be printed in seconds. In luxury restaurants, we will see foods that resemble sculptures in the middle of plates, which are incredibly complex and impossible to make by hand. The kitchen will be the domain of codes and lasers, not knives. We will see the first and most mandatory application of this revolution not on Earth, but most likely in space. Humanity plans to go to Mars and establish colonies there. However, you cannot put cows and chickens on spaceships and take them to space for months. You cannot establish massive wheat fields there. Limited resources, zero gravity, and the necessity of controlled production make 3D food printers a perfect lifesaver for space missions. Astronauts will only take nutrient powders and culture cells with them, and they will print and eat whatever they crave fresh from the machine in space stations. This dystopian question takes us out of technology and directly to economics and human rights. If agriculture shifts from the field to the laboratory, and from seed to software, millions of small farmers around the world will become unemployed and disappear. Food production will fall into the hands of a few giant technology companies that own the patents and massive machines. A country's food independence will depend not on the fertility of its fields, but on the license fees it pays to technology companies. When our most basic and sacred right, like food, turns into a completely industrial, artificial, and controllable product, food companies will reach an unprecedented power on Earth, almost a divine control. Whoever controls the food, controls the people. In conclusion, for thousands of years, humanity looked at the sky and waited for rain to survive, dug the earth with their hands, and took refuge in the mercy of nature. This ancient bond from the field to the table, which has lasted for millions of years, is about to be severed at its root. Perhaps future generations will see that the real change is not in the taste of the food they eat, but in the logic of production of that food. A brand new and digital food chain stretching from bioreactors to printers is being established in the world of the future. Perhaps fire will not burn in the modern kitchens of the future, and food will never be cooked. Meals will only be produced. For the first time, humanity is not just finding the food on its plate, it is preparing to redesign it completely and cell by cell. So, what do you think about this? Would you eat a piece of meat that was grown in a laboratory and came out of a machine with pleasure? Or would you choose to remain faithful to the old rules of nature despite everything? Share your thoughts and concerns with us in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue discovering the secrets of the future.